Was Nero truly the mad emperor who played music as Rome burned? Or was he a victim of one of the greatest smear campaigns in history? He's remembered as a tyrant, a killer, and a man who set his own city on fire. But the real story is far more complex, far more human. This is the untold truth of Nero, the Emperor of Rome. Nero was born in 37 AD into a world of ambition, bloodlines, and ruthless politics. His original name was Lucius Domitius Ahenobarbus, but his destiny changed when his mother, Agrippina, the Younger, married Emperor Claudius and convinced him to adopt her son. With one stroke of the emperor's pen, Lucius became Nero Claudius Caesar, heir to the Roman Empire. At just 16 years old, he ascended the throne, the youngest emperor Rome had ever known. But behind the image of a youthful ruler lay a storm of manipulation, jealousy, and growing instability. In the summer of 64 AD, disaster struck. A massive fire broke out in the heart of Rome. It raged for 9 days, destroying homes, temples, and entire districts. 10 out of Rome's 14 regions were reduced to ash. Legend says Nero stood atop a tower, playing his lyre while the city burned. But is that the truth? Historical sources are divided. Some claim he was away at the time, rushed back to help, and personally organized relief efforts. He opened his private gardens to the homeless and paid for food supplies out of his own pocket. Others say he watched it all, detached, performing music as the flames swallowed his empire. And then, Nero pointed the finger at an obscure religious group, the Christians. Persecution that followed would become one of the most brutal in Roman history. Nero wasn't like the emperors before him. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't a statesman. He saw himself as an artist. He sang. He acted on stage. He competed in poetry contests and athletic games. Not in private, but in front of the Roman people. For the elite, it was scandalous. An emperor performing like a commoner. It was beneath the dignity of Rome, they said. But to many citizens, he was entertaining, even inspiring. Still behind the curtain, darker things brewed. Political rivals disappeared. His mother, the same Agrippina who brought him to power, was murdered on his orders. His wives, his allies, his enemies, all fell one by one. Whether driven by paranoia, pressure, or sheer cruelty, Nero's reign began to unravel. By 68 AD, rebellion was everywhere. The empire that once celebrated him was now turning against him. Governors in distant provinces declared war. The Senate, once his puppet, declared him a public enemy. Nero fled the capital. Alone, terrified and betrayed, he hid in a villa outside Rome. As his enemies closed in, he chose death over capture. On June 9, 68 AD, at the age of just 30, Nero took his own life. His last words, according to legend, were, "What an artist dies in me." Nero's name became synonymous with madness, fire, and tyranny. But here's the twist. Almost everything we know about Nero comes from historians who hated him: Tacitus, Suetonius, Cassius Dio, men who wrote after his death, in service of emperors who wanted Nero's memory destroyed. So what if the truth was more complicated? What if Nero wasn't a monster but a man out of place, crushed by the weight of an empire he never wanted? A ruler torn between art and politics, praise and power, fear and legacy. So what do you believe? Was Nero a cruel dictator who set fire to his own city, or a misunderstood artist trapped by history? Let us know in the comments below. Your voice matters, because history is written by those who question it. If you enjoyed this dive into the darker corners of the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This is just the beginning of our journey into the most controversial rulers who shaped the world. See you in the next episode.